I have this paper to present. The title is Christian Educators and Moral Decadence Among the Youths in Nigeria. Christian Educators and Moral Decadence Among the Youths in Nigeria. It is generally believed that the major factors for the youth's life and development is that which is related to education, that which is related to employment, social and spiritual living to please God, especially in this kind of setting, and the community. Education is an integral part of our environment that makes up and is one of the factors that has had an impact on who we are in the present. It is pertinent to note that the key agents of education are very crucial in this regard. Christian education, one of the key arms of the church, looks to the Bible, looks to the theology, Christian history, and to Christian experience for the content of its teaching. And if you look at the curriculum, even in seminaries, you discover that this is what you find. Hence, a Christian educator, as is generally believed, is expected to be one who is knowledgeable in the field as a profession, but far beyond it, especially in the light of the fact that education, both formal and informal, are managed by different agents who are responsible for interpreting the content of what is regarded as education. When we are talking about agents of education, we have the church, we have the community, the society, we have teachers, and so on and so forth. So everybody is involved. But like we said, far from just thinking of a profession, the personality of these agents are very, very crucial. And one of them is moral status. The second one is spiritual status, and so on. They are very crucial. Today, we only have Christian educators who have principles in the head, but lack the integrity to instill what they teach. Having a master's, doctoral degree, and special degrees in the field would not yield any positive result in transforming youths. What people read now is the life of the teacher, not his or her degrees. Christian youths play a critical role in the development of the society, church, and the country, whether we like it or not. Both the church and the nation's future strength are fully dependent on the depth or degree of their love, devotion, and consecration to the Lord. The depth of their comprehension of the gospel and scriptural ideas upon which the church formed in turn determines their love for God and dedication to his kingdom, depending on the kind of interpretation that is given to the scripture. These everlasting truths and concepts must be presented to the adolescents with as much clarity as possible in order to capture their attention, win their hearts, and create a firm foundation for future years. Preparing today's adolescents, that is youth, for tomorrow's difficulties necessitates an awareness of their current situation. And failure to consider all this will lead to what we regard, and it's actually what is happening, to moral decay among youth, and it's increasing at an alarming rate, leading to social vices such as cultism, prostitution, thuggery, examination malpractice, and so on and so forth. Now, I will make a reference to 1 Timothy chapter 1, verse 1 to 2, and verse 12 to 17. But let me just quickly read what we have in 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 12. Paul says to Timothy, that is talking about their relationship, said, do not let anyone look down on you. And a few years later, when 2 Timothy was written, Paul says, flee the desires of youth. That is talking about a major characteristics of the youth. Timothy felt immature and inexperienced and was weighted down by the responsibilities placed upon him. Now, let's quickly consider the concerns about the Christian educator. That is the ideal. The person must have good spiritual standing. The person must have integrity and intuitiveness, normalness. This is what is actually embedded in the person. We are talking about the personality. The person should have learning patience and accommodation. The person must understand what we regard as uniformity in purpose as designed in the institution's mission statement, especially in theological seminaries. The person must have an understanding of special value of every individual. That is, must consider every individual, both student and everyone around, as very, very important. And then, of course, the person must have visualization of desired learning. Let's quickly consider the qualities of a Christian educator. A Christian educator must have a strong sense of mission beyond profession. As a Christian teacher, our mission as a teacher needs to go beyond just teaching academics. We need to know God has called us to the classroom and not just doing it for profession's sake. I go to class, I am paid my salary. Number two, striving for excellence. If you want to have a big impact, you need to gain the respect of your students. So when a lecturer does not gain the respect of the lecturer beyond so that I will not fail, I think it's a big error. Love for students. It is not expected that a Christian educator will hate the student that he or she is teaching. Then the person must also have humility and realness. Genuine humility and real faith inspire respect in students, which in turn provides an amazing opportunity for influence. And that is exactly what is lacked today. So all that the student will just take is, yes, he's teaching me Greek. I take Greek into my head, but it has no influence on my life. If there is going to be any influence at all, it is going to be deception. Encourage and edify. That is, the person should have the ability to encourage students and edify students. The person should also be conscious of individual rights, such as justice, protection, equality, and provision, especially as he or she relates with the student. And the person should also have commitment in research, not such that just be going to the class without making research. The student will see that as unjust. The person should also be culture sensitive, not lifting one culture above another. Now, where these affect the lives of the students, especially the youth in the society, is that if the lecturer or the teacher or Christian educator does not possess all these qualities, it is going to have adverse effects on the student. We are having this context that is Christian education system, where the Bible is taught and is handled by individuals that are employed, are considered to be qualified. If these qualifications are not found in them, then what is desired in the mission of the institution, that is theological institutions, will be the negative. If the students are expected to be fruitful and the lecturer is not fruitful, then it means what is impacted on the student is that he should be fruitless. And that is what reflects in the society, where the Christian educator is supposed to be just. And then the other thing is that, oh, because this person is close to me, this person is going to pass my course. And if the person deserves 20 marks, okay, and then you feel because this person has done me any good, let me pass him and give him 50. Then the person who did a very serious job, who studied, night and day, eventually gets 60. What is going to be the justice? We shouldn't think that students don't know this. They see it and they read it in us. And probably this is one of the things that make a good number of people to think less about hard work, especially among the youth, and go for cheap things, just like the immediate speaker said. looking for cheap degree so that at least with that degree, let me go and make money. My recommendations. The curriculum for theological education in seminaries should reinforce courses in Christian education department, not only on teaching methods, but on the life of the teacher. Such courses should be provided and should be made compulsory at all levels. Staff recruitment in theological education system should be looked into to ensure that the educators that are employed do not betray the goal of transforming the youth through Christian education. Most of the professors, like it was mentioned earlier on, that by Professor Ango, that professors in CRS department are the ones speaking against theological education and so on and so forth. Most of the professors that are speaking against theological education in seminaries are direct or indirect products of the seminaries. It means it is the lecturers in the seminaries where they went to that actually taught them to speak against what they have already gotten from them. Inclusivism, especially in education, should be encouraged. Inclusivism as a method should be encouraged among the teaching staff. That is, getting students involved in the teaching and not just going to the class, pour the thing, and then leave the students to decide on their own. There should be mentoring policy for newly employed staff. Thank you very much.